Good Tuesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside that weather window. And not quite as warm as yesterday and not quite as sunny either. A lot windier in many locations too, but really, all in all, not a bad spring day around north central Washington. This is looking down from our Omi Garden Sky-Fi Tower camera at the beautiful Wenatchee Valley, and you can see some high clouds out there and some mid-level clouds moving in now, and that's ahead of a storm system that will move in tonight and make us kind of wet on Wednesday. We have a good chance for some rain showers here in north central Washington on Wednesday, maybe a sprinkle or two on Thursday, but most of those showers tomorrow, or Thursday rather, should be over in extreme eastern Washington. We will just see another breezy day Thursday and then some improvement by the end of the week, and we'll talk much more weather a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. 36 fruit workers employed by Stamilt Ag Services have all tested positive for novel coronavirus. That's the virus, of course, that causes COVID-19. 3 people are in jail tonight facing multiple charges after a drug bust over the weekend. Police say a 19-year-old driver followed and threatened 2 women in another car Friday night, and a rollover accident this morning on the Otobashan Bridge spared 3 cows but slightly injured 2 occupants of a pickup. But first, we begin tonight. An East Wenatchee teen was killed Monday morning in a 1-vehicle rollover on Swakane Canyon Road. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office said 18-year-old Megan Dodge died from that crash. She was also with another companion, a woman from Des Moines, Washington. They were both riding in a 2016 Toyota Tundra. That happened at about 7:45 a.m. Monday when the vehicle went off the road, up a slope, and rolled. The second woman was taken to Central Washington Hospital in Wenatchee with minor injuries. The accident remains under investigation. 36 fruit workers employed by Stamilt Ag Services have tested positive for novel coronavirus, the virus that causes COVID-19. All of them were asymptomatic, meaning they didn't show signs of the illness. Stamilt says the infected workers were among 71 people employed on a single work site in East Wenatchee. All were tested over the weekend in partnership with Confluence Health, and all are now in isolation. It's the first wide-scale testing done in the Wenatchee Valley on ag workers who don't have any symptoms. The results push the total identified COVID-19 cases in Douglas County from 28 to 45. Stamilt says it will monitor the health of the infected workers, retest those who tested negative, and continue to follow workplace guidelines to prevent the spread of that virus. Well, 3 people are in jail tonight facing multiple charges after a drug bust over the weekend. East Wenatchee police report that early Sunday morning, an officer noticed 3 subjects gathered around 2 cars in the parking lot of the Cedars Inn. After determining that one of the vehicles was reported stolen, East Wenatchee police and officers from the Douglas County Sheriff's Office detained the men while a drug canine unit from Chelan County detected drugs in the vehicles. A subsequent search turned up nearly 2 ounces of methamphetamine, 5 grams of heroin, about $2,000 in cash, and 2 unregistered semi-automatic pistols. All 3 subjects, Stephen L. Beagle of Oregon, James Lee Morris of Federal Way, and Jason Schatz of Puyallup were all booked into the Chelan County Regional Jail. Police say a 19-year-old driver followed and threatened 2 women in another car Friday night. Gabriel Angrinio of Wenatchee faces a possible charge of felony harassment. He allegedly followed the other car closely from the Kittitas Street and Okanagan intersection all the way to the Wenatchee Police Department about 10 p.m., driving a white SUV. The women said Anguinus' passenger in the car displayed a handgun during the incident. They described the driver as matching Anguinus' description. He remained jailed today on $10,000 bail after his arrest early Saturday. Police said he refused to identify his passenger. Well, a rollover accident this morning on the Otobashan Bridge spared 3 cows but slightly injured 2 occupants of a pickup. Trooper John Bryant with the Washington State Patrol says the accident happened just before 9 o'clock.
Pickup pulling a trailer. A trailer had 3 cows in it that we know of. Lost control. Driver lost control. Went over to the right and rolled over and got hung up on the guardrail. You know, anytime you're pulling a trailer with livestock, you know, and livestock, you know, I don't know if the livestock was tethered in there or just kind of moving around. Your weight can shift, so you kind of got to watch those type of things. And if you're just have a regular, you know, full-size pickup, you got to go a lot slower than the speed limit indicates. So that could possibly be a factor.
The accident blocked one lane of traffic for most of the morning before being cleared around noon. Well, coming up next, state legislators in the House of Representatives want certain industries to recommence work as the pandemic comes under control. 12th District legislators Senator Brad Hawkins and Representative Keith Gaynor say a phased reopening of businesses and recreation in the state is likely to begin soon. Authorities say they still haven't been able to fully search the ruins of a Waterville structure fire where one person is still unaccounted for. And the West Cashmere Bridge will close May 4th and not reopen again until a new bridge is in place in 2021. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Hi, this is Brian Snyder with Black Rock Asphalt Services here in Wenatchee, your local Black Rock seal coat company. Have you looked at your driveway or parking lot lately? Is it gray and oxidized? Does it have cracks that have not been taken care of? Or do you have striping that is pretty much non-existent? Please give us a call locally here, 509-665-9769. Learn more at blackrockasphaltsealcoating.com.
Traditional values and innovation in honoring the life of each family we serve is part of the ministry of Heritage Memorial Chapel. Our staff is committed to walk with your family with compassion through this time of grief. We are here to help and here to serve, the right kind of help when you need it most. Heritage Memorial Chapel.
Welcome back. In another news, state legislators in the House of Representatives want certain industries to recommence work as the pandemic comes under control, starting with construction and auto sales. In the recommendations to the governor, a bipartisan team of lawmakers also said landscapers, cleaning companies, and certain types of retailers who can offer delivery or pickup service should be allowed to reopen. All would have to comply with social distancing protocols, and local health districts would provide guidance to businesses through local economic development agencies such as port districts. All non-essential businesses are closed under the public health emergency until May 4th, but Governor Jay Inslee could decide to shorten that period or extend it. 12th District legislators Senator Brad Hawkins and Representative Keith Gaynor say a phased reopening of business and recreation in the state is likely to begin soon, but probably not before Governor Jay Inslee's Stay Home, Stay Healthy order expires, as we mentioned, on May 4th. Both legislators said there are aspects of Inslee's order that need to be addressed sooner, such as allowing safe distancing construction work. Gaynor said local health officials should play a role in deciding when and what to reopen in their areas.
I'd be very surprised to see anything before May 4th. In fact, he's been actually extending some of the proclamations that he's made. So it would have to be, and that's one of the things that we're really asking for, some clear metrics as to what is the rationale for keeping things the way they are. If we don't see any more, infections, or the rate of infection is very minor, and if local health officials are on board, I mean, I think that's the other element that I think needs to be factored in are the different localities and what are the capabilities of handling whatever infections are there within the community. And the governor hasn't been very receptive to deferring to local officials, and I think I do know that local officials take their position very seriously and would act in a responsible manner. So I think at this point, that would be one of the ways that we could be phasing in, is different areas of the state might be treated differently based on local input.
Meanwhile, Hawkins said the state could begin its return to normalcy immediately by lifting certain portions of the governor's stay-home order, but North Central Washington may lag behind much of the state on large-scale reopenings.
If I were to speculate, I would think things that involve the group gatherings, and certainly the larger group gatherings, would come phased in a little bit later. More, to things like fishing and hunting and opening up state parks and outdoor recreation, golfing opportunities. And I could go on. There's probably a whole list of things that probably could start right now that could help sort of phase in our economy and give people hope, too. Although, if you do think about it, a lot of the discussion has been about when is Washington State at its peak and when's the country at its peak. If, from a healthcare perspective, if the state is at its peak right now, Central Washington and Eastern Washington are probably a week or two behind the peak. So we still have to be cognizant of that. But also, as it's been described to me, if we are truly at our peak, then that means we are at the greatest risk right now of contracting the virus. And so even though being at our peak might be perceived to be good news, we should not let our guards down over the next several weeks in terms of our social distancing, and we should not individually, let our guards down, because theoretically we will be most susceptible to getting the virus when we're at our peak.
Authorities say they still haven't been able to fully search the ruins of a Waterville structure fire where one person is still unaccounted for. Kopi's Garage, a former auto dealership that stood for 120 years in downtown Waterville, burned to the ground on Thursday. 2 people escaped from the blaze, but one person was thought to still be inside, and rescuers had no way to enter the fully engulfed building. Since then, the severity of the fire and the damage to the structure have made it unsafe to enter and search. Douglas County Undersheriff Tyler Calley said further search attempts are likely this week. The cause of that fire remains unknown. Well, the West Cashmere Bridge will close May 4th and not reopen again until a new bridge is in place in 2021. According to the Chelan County Public Works Department, a portion of Goodwin Road also will close. The $19.3 million bridge replacement project is expected to last until the fall of 2021. The new bridge will include an overpass above Highway 297 and a roundabout. The county is suggesting detour routes for traffic that normally uses the bridge. Those include Stein Hill Road or Applets Way in Cashmere. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
Aging and Adult Care offers many in-home care options and services for seniors and family caregivers. But did you know they also offer free in-home delivered meals? Aging and Adult Care has expanded its program for home-delivered meals to help elderly and vulnerable adults at this challenging time. If you are in need of prepared meals or know someone who could benefit, call Aging and Adult Care for more information about free home-delivered meals. Call 509-886-0700.
When it comes to finding a memory care community, you want the very best. You want to know that your loved one is safe and receiving compassionate care in a loving environment. Fieldstone Memory Care is an innovative assisted living community designed for those with Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson's disease. You'll find a community specifically designed to enrich residents' lives. The Fieldstone team is here to help you navigate the important decisions you face when a loved one has dementia or Alzheimer's. Welcome home to Fieldstone.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Well, aside from being Wenatchee Valley College's first fully virtual Earth Day, tomorrow's celebration of the planet also doubles as a book publishing party. In tonight's feature story, Dear America is an anthology of art, poetry, and essays, and Wenatchee Valley College instructor Derek Sheffield served as one of its editors. He joined NCWLIFE's Jefferson Robbins to talk about the project.
My part in the Earth Day celebration as not only as a partner in communicating with our community organizations and helping to coordinate the events on campus, I bring in the literary aspect, and in that respect, I'm able to combine the Earth Day celebration with my work as the coordinator of our Visiting Writers program. And the event is also a little bit of a celebration of Poetry Month. We've typically done that. April is Poetry Month. We celebrate Mother Earth. We celebrate the muse poetry. They're really natural bedfellows. And then the last aspect of this year's event is it is a book launch, which is officially being released on the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, which is quite appropriate because the book's primary focus is on issues of the environment and social justice. And Liz Bradfield is one of our contributors in this collection. We typically have an Earth Day poetry contest, and this was an idea actually that came from the students years ago as I was working with them on planning the literary aspect of the Earth Day celebration. And so the last month, students have been sending in entries to of poems that are that have to do with the earth somehow. Our visiting poet, Liz Bradfield, will be reading the student poems and selecting 2 winners of the Earth Day poetry contest, and we are going to invite those students to join us in the celebration. Typically, last year we had them join us in the Grove Recital Hall for the Earth Day celebration, but this year, of course, we'll invite them in right here into our Zoom room, and so that will also be an aspect of Wednesday's program.
I hope that we get many people to join the meeting. Zoom is actually very easy to use, so please don't feel intimidated if you haven't been on a Zoom call before. You don't have to have your video on. In fact, we probably can't with that many people. Earth Day was started as a national teach-in, actually, on the environment in 1970. Students at that time were the ones that were leading the charge, and I would have to say that students continue to lead the charge on these environmental issues, really trying to say, hey, we want a clean, healthy future, and we really need some action to be taken on the climate.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. And as always, let's take a look outside our weather window from this afternoon. Another nice one out there, wasn't it? Not quite 74 degrees and sunny like we saw yesterday, but pretty darn nice today with temperatures right around that 70-degree mark. A few high clouds out there today, and also now some mid-level clouds moving. That's ahead of a storm system that's ready to move in on us, and we'll talk much more about that in a second. But first, today's high temperature unofficially at 70 degrees. Normally we should be about 64, so 6 degrees above where we should be for this time of year. 46 is where we started the day this morning, and that's also 4 degrees above where we should be at 42. Record high 84 degrees. That was set back in 2009, and record low just a year before that in 2008 at 25 degrees. Sunrise this morning straight up 6 o'clock, and the sun set tonight almost straight up 8 o'clock. Let's take a look now at how your Wednesday is going to shape up. Midweek, it's going to be a wet one. And folks, we talked about this yesterday. We are almost 1.25 inches behind where we should be for moisture. We are going to pick some of that up tomorrow. Much cooler temperatures too. Mid-60s, 64 in Moses Lake and Ephrata, 63 for Quincy and Wenatchee, and then lower 60s all the way up Highway 97, Eniat and Chelan, also up at Omak tomorrow. Your high temperature cooler at 62 degrees. As we move into tonight, we can expect increasing clouds. We've been seeing that throughout the day today. Breezy weather conditions, 10 to 20 miles an hour. Notice these lines of barometric pressure very tightly packed, and that means windy conditions all ahead of this frontal boundary right here that will slide our way as we get into Wednesday. So cloudy skies tomorrow, a 70% chance of rain and cooler as you'd expect with the clouds and the rain. We could see about a 1/10 to maybe a 1/4 of an inch of precipitation for Wednesday. As we get into Thursday, this frontal system pushes into the western part of Montana. We will see partly cloudy skies and still some breezy conditions, 10 to 20 miles an hour. Once again, out of the northwest, notice the reds and pinks. That's our windier areas, and that includes the Waterville Plateau for Thursday. Things quiet down a bit for Friday then. We will see increasing clouds throughout the day. Here's another area of low pressure right here that will slide some more moisture our way as we get into the upcoming weekend. So as we start the weekend on Saturday, a 50% chance for rain, and you can see Washington, Oregon, and the panhandle of Idaho will be inundated with moisture. I don't think this rain event will be as big as the one we'll probably see tomorrow, but still, we'll take the moisture. Sunday, mostly cloudy skies, a 30% chance for showers. Those will be late in the day on Sunday. You can see a large area of low pressure slowly pushing down from British Columbia, and then by Monday, as that system moves south, it could eject a little bit of shower activity our way. So we'll say mostly cloudy and about a 40% chance for rain on Monday. The good news, it will remain mild with temperatures throughout most of central and eastern Washington in the mid to upper 60s. Let's take a look now at your Patriot Plumbing, Heating and Cooling 7-day forecast. Tonight, another mild one at 48 degrees. Look at that cool down, 63 tomorrow with a 70% chance of rain. A little bit breezy as that storm system moves away from us. 69 Friday, 67 on Saturday with another good shot for rain. And we're going to stay on the wet side into Sunday and Monday with high temperatures mainly in the mid-60s. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's Sports Report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Tuesday, staying home and staying healthy. Eric Granstrom on the NCWLIFE channel. Getting ready for the NFL draft coming up on Thursday. Really the first nationally organized sport thing going on since, God, what, February? Seems like it anyway. The Seahawks, meanwhile, taking care of some business at home before they get ready for the draft. Center Joey Hunt has signed his restricted tender to remain in Seattle. Hunt tweeted photos of him signing the deal, writing, "It's official, I'm back." The 6th-round draft pick in 2016 started 8 games in the regular season and both playoff games for Seattle at center last year after starter Justin Britt went down with a knee injury. Seahawks also today officially re-signed veteran free agents Luke Wilson and Mike Upati, while also signing Brandon Jackson to his restricted free agent tender. Seattle also announced that offensive lineman Jordan Roos has signed his exclusive rights free agent tender. Seattle now has 19, count them, 19 offensive linemen under contract for the upcoming season. There's a total of 69 players that are under contract, having been tendered or having agreed to sign with the Seahawks. Seattle has 7 draft picks coming up in Thursday's NFL draft that starts on Thursday. They've got the 27th pick in the first round. Of course, there's a lot of speculation that, again, Seattle will trade that pick away. Once the draft ends on Saturday, teams can also sign undrafted free agents. Each team is allowed 90 players on their off-season roster. Well, MLB.com and Mariners.com re-aired Felix Hernandez's perfect game from back in 2012. This morning, it was a sun-splashed afternoon at Safeco Field back then when Felix delivered the 23rd perfect game in Major League history. Happened to be also my birthday that day. Dave Sims and Dan Wilson had the call on Root Sports.
A 1-2 to Jennings. Oh, hit him out! Yeah! 25 up, 25 down. 4 strikeouts in a row, 11 for the ball game. 1-2. The King deals to Keppinger. Ground ball, Ryan. Scoop, throw, got him, 2 outs! The Seattle Mariners, Felix Hernandez, the 2-2. 4 years, 119 games. It's finally happened. A perfect game by a Seattle Mariner. It was done by the King, Felix Hernandez. The 23rd perfect game in Major League history.
Unbelievably, Felix's perfect game was the 3rd of that season in 2012. You can watch it on MLB.com, on Mariners.com as well. I had a lengthy conversation yesterday with Dave Graybill, locally known as the Fish Magician. He's also a member of the Department of Fish and Wildlife Commission. He says they're trying to do what they can. The department is getting hunting and fishing reopened. This Saturday would normally be the Lowland Lake opener in Washington, the most utilized outdoor recreational offering by Fish and Wildlife. Graybill said they won't have it open by this weekend. They're shooting for that May 4th date from the governor. A protest was held last Saturday in the Tri-Cities with hundreds of boaters on the water and folks lining the shoreline of the Columbia River demanding that fishing reopen. A similar protest is scheduled for this Saturday here in Wenatchee at 9 a.m. Boats will gather on the river below the Senator George Sella Bridge and along the dryland grass there at Mission Street Park. We used to call it Locomotive Park. You can find out more about Saturday's protest. Search Facebook and look for Wenatchee Let Us Fish. Well, we have basketball on the NCWLIFE channel tonight as we bring you a great game of our past. We're opening up the vault from January of 2017 as the Eastmont Wildcats tried to snap a 7-game losing streak to their Cross River rival, the Wenatchee Panthers. I was along Steve DeVilbiss with the play-by-play here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Back to Esquivel. He'll shoot the 3. Rims falls.
Wow, yeah, he did.
Somehow came up
blocked him out.
Now to Esquivel. He'll raise another 3-pointer. Good! Answering the counter by Wenatchee. Esquivel with the drive. Low right-handed
that was
runner.
a good call. Tough shot.
Count the bucket. Oh, my. With the foul, his second. Inbounds pass to Leeson in the corner. He'll shoot the
Tough
3-pointer. Good! They lead it by 2. Parker Daniels and Eastmont to Leeson for 3. It's good. Wenatchee looking for the all-important stop here. Lob pass
nice pass.
Alvarez. Bucket. It's good.
That great game of our past coming your way 7 o'clock tonight here on your home for local sports. With sports, I'm Eric Granstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Eric. Now let's check in with Dan Koontz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thank you, Grant. I hope you join me Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. live right here in this very studio for another edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll have your latest news. We'll have sports. We'll have everything that you're used to. Hopefully, as Grant was mentioning during the weather forecast, we're going to get some measurable rain on Wednesday, and we need it. We need it bad. The last time we had measurable rain, measurable precipitation here in the Wenatchee Valley, Elvis was still dead. That's how long it's been. Bring on the rain. We need it. Join me tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Dan. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.
Owner Andrew Vickery brings years of experience to help you transition your backyard into a place where memories are made, family time is looked forward to, and friends are always welcome. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa offers many different styles and sizes of artesian spas, both new and used, as well as residential and commercial pool and spa services, regular maintenance and repairs, and all the chemicals required to keep your pool and spa crystal clear. Stop on by Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa today.